Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what we're going to do is we're going to take step 5 of our project to make a watch using an ETA 2892-A2. And I've already talked about the tools, but for this specific operation, these are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need some kind of hand setter. You can do it with tweezers, but it's very difficult. Basically with tweezers, you have to push each side of the hand down. This makes it a lot simpler for you. This is another hand setting tool. Once you have the hand set lightly, you want to be sure you push them straight down, and this will help you do that. And I always, once I have the hand just on there, I like to use this. You can get these on Amazon. They're not expensive. You don't absolutely need one, but they're recommended. This, I think, your hand setting tool is very important to have. Another thing, you need your tweezers. I use metal tweezers, but here's another kind. These are wooden, and the good thing about wooden is they're non-magnetic, because sometimes the hands will want to stick to some magnetized tweezers that you have. You also need a set of hands. You'll need an hour hand, a minute hand, and a second hand. Those are important. Be sure to get the right size for the 2892. You're going to need 3 cots. I use 6, but 3 I think would be important. You want to handle your movement with the dial on it, like you have pictured there, with cots hand, and then on your other hand, your dominant hand, you want to have that for having your tools, holding on to your tools. Now, the way this is set up, and then of course you're going to need, I mentioned you're going to need your movement with your dial already on it. If you don't have your dial on it, go take a look at step 4. Okay, this is essentially the set of pinions that are stacked on top of each other, are actually wrapped around one another, sort of like a burrito. And in the center, you have the smallest one, which is the seconds, and then out a little, you have the minutes, and then out further, you have the hour hand. Now, this is a little difficult to grasp, and it looks somewhat intimidating, so I simplified it for everyone. You have on the green layer, the hour hand goes on it. The sort of the purple layer, the minute hand goes over it, and then on the green layer, on the blue layer in the middle is where you put your second hand. And so it's important to use the correct hands for the correct layer. If you try to push the minute hand on first, you're going to ruin it. So you don't want to do that. Here's another view of it. The circle that looks like a rondelle on a World War II British plane shows essentially the 3 rings you're going to have. The wide one's for the hour, the middle one is for the minutes, and then the very top is for the second hand. Essentially, your second hand works like a cap, and instead of having a hole in it that works like a sleeve, it has a little hole in it with a cap on top of it. You can see it sort of in the lower right. Some of them don't. Some of them have the hole goes all the way through, but a lot of them have caps. And that's that I would prefer anyway. Okay, so essentially to sort of have your head set that way, what I would suggest is you get all your tools ready and decide first of all you want to hour hand, minute hand, and second hand. Okay, let's take a look at a video. Now the video is like 3 minutes or so, but it shows putting them on. This can be a lot longer than that. For putting on the hands on when you have a calendar watch, the first thing you got to do is what you do is you want to get the date right at when it changes.
And so you just turn this. Okay, now you have the first. And what I want to do is then I'll put the hour hand on at 12. This is the hour hand. Okay, once you have the hour hand on the pivot point, put it up to the 12 position. Okay. All right. So that's the first one. Now the second one is going to be your minute hand. And we'll get that on next. On the end. And then I put that. Okay, you can see why I wanted it there. It's sort of hard with this thing. Let me see if I can. Okay. Yep, that's clearing nicely. So, okay. All right, now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it at about here for now. Put it back on here. Now, the hardest one is the second hand. Okay, for the second hand, you want to just sort of get it in there, put it on very lightly, and then you can take your hand tool or this little gizmo here and just push it down and until it's solidly in place. The watch now is really it's a working movement with the hands and the date and everything else is all set. And so now all we got to do is put it into a case and we're good to go. Okay, we got our watch all set up and ready to go. It's essentially a working watch now. What we have for our next step, I would suggest for step 6, you're going to want to have some kind of vise to hold your watch, because what we're going to be doing, we're going to be removing the stem so we can put the watch in the case, then putting the stem back in, trimming the stem to the right size, and then putting it all the way in, and then just we also have to attach the case to the movement with including the dial on it. So that'll be the next step. So if you don't have a little one of these, a little holder for your movement, little vise, go ahead and get one. You can get them on Amazon. They're a few bucks. They're not very much. Okay, so till next time, this is Bill Sanders for Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. By the way, too, if this is the first one you're looking at, be sure to take a look at steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you look at this one. Take care and be safe.